The leaves turn gold, the weather turned cold, and the story began to unfold. It's 1976, a season still alive. The legends and the memories that time could never hide. From the kickoff in September to the champions at the end, we turn the pages back again and live those days once more, my friend.
Welcome back to Pigskin Glory, football 50 years ago today, as we look back at what was making football news on Wednesday, August 18th, 1976. We started with the day's NFL transactions, and there were some interesting notes. The Falcons extended coach Marion Campbell, while Cincinnati, Detroit, and the Giants made roster moves. Tampa Bay acquired quarterback Larry Lawrence from Oakland. Washington picked up guard Ron Saul from Houston. And the biggest item was Miami suspending veteran safety Jake Scott. We then looked at two players who simply weren't ready to let football tell them their careers are over. Greg Dubinetz and LaFell Williams had both been released multiple times, but both remained determined to keep chasing chasing another opportunity in professional football. Our next newspaper gave us two stories in one. Michigan coach Bo Schembechler was concerned about the Wolverines' depth entering the 1976 college season, despite having another talented team, and another version of the Dubinetz and Williams story showed just how difficult it could be for players hanging on to the edge of professional football. Then we dug deeper into one of those days' transactions. Jake Scott's suspension in Miami came after the veteran safety refused to play in an exhibition game because of an injured shoulder. Don Shula believed Scott should play after receiving treatment, while Scott reportedly didn't want a pain-killing injection just to participate in a preseason game. We also found an interesting sign of the times, as NFL preseason attendance was down. Through 3 preseason weekends, games were averaging around 39,500 fans, compared with roughly 42,000 the previous year. Rising ticket prices, neutral site games, and fans waiting for later exhibitions featuring more established players were all offered as possible explanations, vastly different from today, where the later exhibitions don't feature any star players. Tank McNamara continued having a rough time adjusting to life after football. This time, Tank apparently put on his old uniform, went to Philadelphia, got into a rumble in a hotel bar, and somehow ended up on the waterfront. Retirement was going great. Our Football Digest post of the day continued through the magazine's enormous 17-round 1976 NFL Draft recap, going team by team through hundreds of selections, and just as interesting 50 years later were the advertisements. Everything from team merchandise to uniforms to an $11.95 NFL alarm clock, and the Chicago Bulls wristbands for $2 a pair. That's about as 1976 as it gets. Finally, we headed north for CFL action. The Toronto Argonauts defeated the Hamilton Tiger Cats 14-11, with Anthony Davis breaking loose for a 48-yard touchdown run and Matthew Reed adding another score. Hamilton rallied late and had a chance to change everything, but Ken Clark missed a 46-yard field goal attempt with 1 second remaining. And that wraps up another day of football from 50 years ago. The games may be over, the players may be gone, but the history lives forever. This was August 18th, 1976. Make sure if you liked what you're reading to click like, share, and subscribe. And until tomorrow, this has been Pigskin Glory, football 50 years ago today.